I'm Alyson. I'm an Access student from Leicester College. I'm a mum of four. I've worked in banking. I've also worked in the armed forces, and my last job was actually a driving instructor, which is where I did a lot of teaching, and I enjoyed teaching, but I needed to really try and look at teaching in another field that would fit a little bit more with my family life as well. So from my family, I'm the first person who's come to university. I did GCSEs. I didn't stay on for A-levels purely because back in the sort of the late 80s, not many people actually went on to A-levels. You weren't really encouraged at that point to go on to university. Only the top sort of 2% actually did that, which is possibly another reason why I've come into higher education at a much later age. I think it's, for myself, I needed to build my own confidence, which through work I have built obviously my confidence and belief that I could actually do the degree. So I went on the Access course because I knew that I wanted to teach, and without obviously formal qualifications I needed to find a way into university as quickly as possible. So I looked at humanities Access course, where I found one obviously at Leicester College, which covered all different areas from sociology, psychology, English, poetry and things like that. At first it was quite intense, the Access course, and obviously it was quite a big learning curve, but it did help with your confidence. We did do more modules than we perhaps needed to do, which did put a bit of extra pressure on us, but the course content, when you look back, was really well planned. So even assignments I'm doing now, I've found that I'm sort of calling back on it. I've already gone back and looked at work and stuff because it's kind of helped me, so that's been really useful. I think it's things like writing essays, things like that were really, really helpful. Although one problem with that is that we would use things quite often like suggested, which apparently we're not supposed to use now. So that's been a bit of a learning curve. That would have been helpful if someone had said, actually, you don't take that with you. I think the crossover sometimes from social sciences and how you write essays to English has been quite different. So that's been a bit of a learning curve. But things like time management has been really, really good. Essay planning, as I said, and confidence, really. That's one of the big things, is confidence and actually believing that you can do it. Leaving college, I managed to get all distinctions for practically everything I did. There was lots of feedback, but coming into university, that hasn't actually stayed. We've gone from doing the same amount of effort, but actually our grades are much lower. So we could have had a little bit more help, just realising that actually, although as you go into university you're at this level, you will probably still be the lower part. So it's not such a shock, because I think that was a bit of a shock. The grades are not at the same at all to what we had at Access. Yeah, I found different things about Access much more comfortable because we had a lot more contact time and we felt like we had a lot of support from the tutors. They were there, we saw them obviously in a much ready basis than here, and you could get feedback if you wanted and things like that. Here we don't see people very often, just in our pockets, so you don't really get much time to even bond with the other people in the class, to rely on them to support you through difficult times as well. So as a person, I left Access feeling really, really confident and really felt like I could really go for this, and I planned to come in and I'm going to go for it and I'm going to get a first. I don't feel confident now at all from my first few weeks here. I don't feel that I've got a chance. There's not enough time to actually go into enough depth to understand the different elements we're doing. So week on week, at the moment, we're just chucking something else on top, and it feels like we've got my foundations that felt like they were really strong. I don't feel like we're building on them and strengthening them. I feel like there's a lot of pressure and it's all feels like it's crumbling a bit at the moment. I want to teach. At the moment, I hadn't decided exactly what age group I was going to do. Always planned on primary, but I've got some experience in primary, but I'm going to go and get some experience in secondary school to decide. Yeah. So I plan to get some more experience in different areas and then decide. But you have to have a first or a 2-1 to go on to do the PGCE. So at the moment I feel a little bit unsure, although because at the moment my grades have been about 2-2, and although everyone has said that they're going to go up, there is that worry at the moment that what if they don't? What if I don't manage to understand everything to the level I feel I need to get the grades? And there hasn't really been anybody that I've tried to talk to one personal tutor, and all I've got is I've got no worries about it. But it hasn't really helped me through. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get those grades to get where I want to go. I mean, my husband and I both knew that it was going to be a 40-hour course, but obviously because when I'm waiting around in between lectures here, there isn't always a very long time, so it might only be 40 minutes. So it's hard to do a good amount of work and be quite proactive because you're constantly clock watching. So I tend to have to start my work at about 9 o'clock at night and work late into the night. So sleep deprivation has been quite difficult, and managing the children, because at the weekends quite often I'm having to do work and I'm not spending time with them. So that's been quite tough. I'm having to, I suppose, perhaps lower my own sort of expectations at the moment of where I would like to be. Whereas last year I was a distinction student all the way through, and I thought, hey, I can manage it. This year I've got to perhaps, lower my standards, I suppose, to see if I can get through it.